And there's only one kind of person to save, the real one. And the other one, shucking and jiving every day of the week. Now look at verse 65. And he was saying, for this reason I have said to you that no one can come to me unless it has been granted him from the Father. In other words, he says, you can't come to me on your own. This is nothing where you choose to join the church or I'm going to reform my life now. I'm going to give my heart to Jesus, and he ought to be glad I'm there. Well, look at the response, verse 66. As a result of this, in other words, the words that I just read to you, now you got it? Many of his disciples, the ones that was following, withdrew and were not walking with him any longer. Figure it out. Look at verse 67. And Jesus said to the 12, see, the ones that he had chosen to be his, and Judas was one of these. See, Jesus getting in the real now. Jesus says to the 12, man, he gets on down in to the real ones, the one that be talking that smack me. I'm with you, Lord. I believe in you. John, I like you. I like the way you teach. I like your form of Bible study. I like the way you do apologetics. Jesus gets real. He gets real with it now. And he asks a very important question. He says, do you want to go away also? Do you? He asked the 12. Y'all gonna leave too? Am I that offensive that y'all gonna leave? Now, that is a very, very, very important verse. We understand that there are many different kinds of followers. Note these people that left him were called disciples. Can't get away from it. You cannot escape from that. See, John the Baptist had disciples. When you go to John chapter 1 verse 35, he had disciples. John 1:35 reads like this, and again the next day, John was standing with two of his disciples. Everybody had disciples back then. This disciple concept just didn't start with Jesus. Everybody had disciples. As a matter of fact, John Coleman has disciples. Some of mine has went back and left me. Oh, I've said some hard things. Most of the time I told them, you don't run this. I do. They'll leave you. Let me make this perfectly clear. I don't care what church you're in. You have a pastor, a senior teacher in every ministry. There's always one that's at the head of everything. And when he starts talking and moving and doing like that, some folk will move back. Well, move. Look at Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22, we see another group of people that had some disciples. Matthew 22, verses 15 and 16. Matthew chapter 22, turn to it in your Bibles. Matthew chapter 22, verses 15 and 16. We're going to look at another group of individuals that had disciples. And the Pharisees went and counseled together how they might trap him in what he said. And they sent their disciples to him along with the Herodians. So the Pharisee had their disciples, Sadducee had their disciples, and the Herodians had their disciples. Jesus had his disciples. John the Baptist had his disciples. And guess what? You are somebody's disciple. Remember what I said earlier in this lecture? I said that we're going to answer the question from the perspective of the Bible. We have to do that. We have to do that. So we understand that the concept of discipleship does not begin with the construction of the Christian faith. No. Discipleship began before the Christian faith began, because as we read these particular scriptures, We see discipleship being a concept before Jesus goes to Calvary and dies. So thus we see the historical development here of Jesus' discipleship program throughout his earthly ministry as we define our role in this particular study. I think right here I am going to pause because I do want to break and I don't want you to get into the next level of study until we pause right here. So I'm going to pause right here. And once we move into the next study, it'll be the committed believer. And we're going to turn back to the Acts chapter 11, verse 26 text. And we're going to take a good look at that. This is Pastor John Coleman. You've just gone through phase 1 of discipleship. And when we continue, we'll go to phase 2. Continue to study with us. God bless you.